1077 The Bone, Chasta and Baby Huey here at Aftershock with rock and roll royalty, all right? Deadland Ritual. We got Matt Sorum, we got Franky Perez, and we got Steve Stevens. How's it going?
Great.
I'm such a big fan of you all individually, and then collectively it's like mind-blowing. I mean, you're playing with Butler, Black Sabbath. What the hell? How did this all come together? Take it, Matt.
I read an article on one of those rock blogs.
Blogs, yeah.
It
You
said,
read rock blogs?
Occasionally I get online.
All right.
Occasionally. I'm a modern guy.
Yeah.
And it said that Black Sabbath was really ending.
Yeah. The end.
And then I read an article that Geezer was basically in retirement, but he was working on some material and didn't know what he was going to do next.
Yeah.
So I took that as sort of an idea. Like I called Franky and Steve. I said, I'm going to call Geezer. And then we sent him a track that we'd worked on.
Yeah.
And he liked it.
Yeah.
And said yes. And that's how it started.
So you guys had already been a thing, and you were like, we're going to just throw it out, see what happens. Did you have a backup plan if Geezer was like, nah, I'm good?
We didn't actually.
No, good. I wouldn't either, by the way. I'd be like, it's Geezer or bust.
We bolted the rehearsal room doors and wouldn't let him out.
We locked him in. He's not going anywhere.
You're in this band.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's funny. We were talking to your publicist, and she was saying that Geezer had retired and he had traveled and done what he wanted to do, and he was like, all right, no, I'm good. I should play again. So that worked out quite well, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's like anything. We got in a room, small little rehearsal room, and just saw what the chemistry was like. I mean, and we've been doing this same way since we were kids.
Yeah.
And now we got the guy that we actually listen to.
Right.
It's mind blowing.
Dude, I walked down the aisle to Black Sabbath, like you know what I mean? Fluff. It's not that kind of Sabbath song. It's an instrumental. It worked, I promise. It was beautiful, yeah. And I'm so glad that Franky, I saw you. I think we were trying to figure out the timing on this. It was a show you played at the Viper Room, like 8-9 years ago, something like that, and you were singing, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? Like, somebody snag him hard. Good job. You're such a powerhouse vocalist.
Thank you.
I mean, we've been a fan since way back in the day, so it's nice to see you guys doing this together. This is a big deal, for sure.
A big deal.
Yeah, right? You feel like it's a big deal?
I do.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would too.
Well, I'm just curious for you guys, like, how'd you come up with the sound? I mean, each of you guys have your own body of work that everyone around the world loves. So how do you like decide, okay, do we kind of go more of like a Sabbath inspired, or GNR, Velvet Revolver, your stuff with Billy Idol? I mean, it's like, how do you guys kind of come up with the sound for Deadland Ritual?
I think that first track, I remember having a discussion with the guys saying, why don't we let's steer it in the Sabbath vein.
Okay.
But let's take it new as well, right? Like our own thing. And the first track that we did, which was Broken and Bruised, was the first song that became sort of the sonic template of the band.
Yeah.
And since then, we've heard people say, oh, it's got a little bit of Velvet Revolver, it's got a little bit of Black Sabbath, it's got a little bit of this, got a little bit of that. Obviously, it's Steve's guitar from, Billy Idol. But from my opinion, Steve's guitar playing, I've always been a huge fan of Steve. I'm a fan of Steve.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Franky.
Right.
So I go, Steve, you can play more. And I don't think he's ever heard that. I go, so
he's like,
for him to really go off, right? So that's kind of where that started. And then we're still getting, the original music together. We're going to play a bunch of stuff today that isn't out yet.
Yeah.
And obviously we're going to play heritage stuff too. So because we want to keep the audience kind of, hey, what are they doing up there, But so we're getting close to making a record and come around next year again. And
is it weird your history is so enormous, right? Is it weird that you're kind of starting over in a way in a new band?
Kind of exciting though.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, if you can, as a musician, regardless of all the business and everything, retain that feeling why you picked up the instrument in the first place.
Right, of course.
And that's what we try and tap into.
Yeah.
Those classic records. I think it's like, for us, it's like you look at on a piece of paper and all four of our names, what would you imagine it to sound like as a fan, and what would you want it to be?
Right.
And we try and fulfill that.
Yeah. I will tell you, the very first day that it was announced that Deadland Ritual was a thing and I saw the members, I was a one-woman PR machine on Twitter. I was
Awesome.
like, holy shit, you guys don't understand.
I know we quickly put it on the website and social, or shared it out and everything, but Chasta's filling me in, and it was like, oh my God, what a song, what a lineup. So yeah, it's just such an amazing experience for us as fans. We just love seeing you guys just keep growing and going forward.
I think the cool, refreshing part is that, you know, people of your stature and that have your experience could have real monster egos about it. You could be like, no, we're not going to play a smaller stage, or we're going to only do this, we're going to only do that. The fact that you guys are like in it to just go, yeah, we're doing whatever, let's do it, is really refreshing.
We actually rode in a van today.
You did? How was that?
I said no vans. I said no 40 Econoline vans. That's what they said. They said, you said no 40 Econoline. You didn't say no vans.
So you had to jump in there and get her
We got
done.
this new van. It's called the Sprinter.
The Sprinter.
Mercedes.
Yeah, it's very
And
comfortable.
I don't know about
Mercedes
you, but
Sprinter.
I flew Southwest to get here.
Did you really?
I said no Southwest.
That's how much I wanted to be here.
Today I was.
Not an ad, but
I was
Southwest is so stoked right now.
You too, right? Yeah, Southwest.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
But somehow I got conned into the 6 a.m. flight. I have no idea how that
Oh,
happened.
dude, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
and I looked at his itinerary. He's like at
I
noon.
didn't- yeah.
I said nothing before noon. No
No
Southwest.
vans, no Southwest, and nothing before noon.
All lies. They lie to us.
I love it. Well, we're obviously stoked that you guys are here. This is amazing. Thank you for taking the time. We have one more very important question for you. This is my favorite question of all time. Comes from the movie Almost Famous. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Sure,
All right.
yeah.
So in the last frame of the movie, the question is asked, what do you love about music?
Take a pause. It's all
The
good.
pause is
Think
part of the
about it.
answer.
What do you love about music?
Well, that's changed over the years.
I bet. I bet. You can do back then or now, whichever you prefer.
You mean what do you love about music, like music itself, or like what's happening right now?
Well, the answer in the movie is everything.
So
Oh, everything. There you go. Okay, so just roll back.
You're supposed to
Yeah.
beat that, Franky.
Right. Roll back. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I think for rock and roll, it unites the misfits and the fuck ups. You know,
that,
I mean,
yeah.
and you know, I know all my biggest heroes were really flawed individuals who managed to express themselves through music. I'm useless at everything else. You know, I mean, I barely change a light bulb. I can play the fucking guitar.
That's right. That's right. You stay to your strengths, right?
That's it, yeah.
My hero eternally was Janis Joplin. So she was a flawed individual, but she made some shit happen, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think we all
Yeah, for sure.
can identify.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Did you want to answer that one, Matt?
Oh, it's the gathering of the tribes, right? I mean, everyone's here.
Yeah.
It's the one thing in life. Music is the one thing that brings everyone together. You don't have an argument about it. Maybe you like harder rock or a different band or whatever, but pretty much everyone on the planet loves music, right?
That's right. It's a
Can't
great
deny that.
unifier.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it can change some stuff for the good. Well, thank you guys for taking the time. We know you're busy,
pleasure.
and it really means a lot.
thank you.
Deadland Ritual, yeah!